Alright, looks like that first video turned out half decent, a little bit laggy, but hopefully this one will be a little bit better. What have I played so far? I played the 2500 Bellagio Cup tournament. It was a couple days after, a couple days after the 6 Max one. There was only about 100 people in that one. I think I ended up going out in 30th. It was actually running pretty good at the beginning of the tournament. Built up my stack a bit. It started with 5,000. I think it was up till 12,000 or something. Then I got it all in 3 ways with Ace Queen versus King Queen and Queen 10, and King Queen hit a king. So I lost a good chunk of my stack there, and then didn't get too much going after that. Kind of just sat back, raised a bunch of hands. Got re-raised pretty much every time. I had junk every time. I wasn't picking up anything, so I just mucked them. Didn't raise for quite a few orbits, then finally picked up 7s. Raised with it. Got re-raised once again. Theme of the series here. And I decided to go with it. I felt like I was probably behind, but I put in enough chips and just had to hope he had like Ace King, and he turned over 10s. So that was that tournament. I don't know. I played pretty good, so felt alright with it. Just couldn't really get too much going later on. Beginning had more going on. Robin played in it too. He was at my table actually. He went out a little bit earlier. He was getting repopped like every hand. It was pretty brutal, and getting called, and he'd raise and get called in like 5 spots. So I think it was actually a rougher tournament for him than me. What did I play next? I played the $1,000 rebuy. This was a World Series tournament. I wasn't really planning on playing it, but the day of, I just kind of decided to go down there and give it a shot. Figured there'd be quite a lot of equity in it, just because, I don't know, some people go pretty crazy on the rebuys. It's a good tournament, built up some chips. Rebuy period, didn't get anything going. Pretty much had some really good hands up against some slightly better hands, so I rebought twice, I think. So by the end of the rebuy period, I basically had the minimum I could have, which was just around 8,000 or something like that. I also had, I was in for 6,000, so that's not bad for the rebuy. And then again, I just couldn't seem to get much going. Just kind of hung around for a while, and I started to get really short stacked. A bunch of people limped on my big blind. I had 9-4 suited. I pushed. I actually probably should have pushed a few orbits before. I just couldn't get a good situation to push in. So I pushed there. 3 people folded to me. I had a really tight image at this point, so 3 people folded to my push. I think it was around 2 or 3 grand, and there was already at least that in the pot, if not more. One guy called, and the guy in the button re-pushed all in, so it was an awesome situation for me. And the guy went back to the guy who had called, and he thought for a long time, and then he finally folded, and the guy on the button turned over pocket 5s. So again, I'm dominated, or in a bad situation, but I turned a 9. So I scooped that pot, which was a really big one. The next hand, the guy who had folded after calling raised, and he looked a bit frustrated. Tony G was at my table. He repopped him hard to like 7 grand, I think. Came back to me. I had queens, so I mean, for my stack size, there was Tony G's raise almost had me all in again. So I just pushed it in. The other guy folded right away. Tony G called with Ace King, and the flop, first card off was a king, so I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. I'm running. And actually the second card was off as a queen, so I doubled up there and basically crippled Tony G. He had slightly more than the big blind after that. So then I had some chips, played a few pots, didn't get much going at that table. I had a pretty tough table, actually. There's quite a few big names or professionals at the table. Who was there? I don't know. Okay, we gotta get going here to go play. Basically what happened is I got moved to another table, had quite a few chips, raised on the cutoff with ace-king, guy pushed. I called, he had ace-10, spiked on me, then I lost a coin flip after that and I was out, so it didn't take long. We're gonna go play main event qualifier here right now, so I will talk to you guys later.